All right, you guys ready? Yep. Good afternoon. We're having some technical difficulties, so no live streaming and no microphone, so we'll just try and talk loud. But good afternoon. My name's Travis Helm, current principal here at Rosedale. Welcome to the inaugural Rosedale High School Hall of Fame. And like I said, my name's Travis. I've been principal here for 9 years. Over those 9 years, I've met a lot of Rosedale High School alumni, conduct a lot of tours, talk on the phone, meet out in public. Always they want me to know how proud they are of their high school. They enjoyed their years here. They talk about the rich history of Rosedale. They speak often about what the building was like when they went here. And so depending on what year you were, where the gym was, where the cafeteria was, they remember the plays and the musicals. I'm always floored by how many people remember where their locker was, and not just that, but their combination of their locker. About 5 years ago, I started to communicate with a gentleman named Otto Schroll, and some of you might know him, Otto Schroll. And the history of Rosedale really started to come to life. We emailed back and forth a few times. We talked on the phone. We talked about a lot of the people that went to Rosedale and their accomplishments. And I was lucky enough to meet Otto at the all-school reunion a few years ago. He reminisced about when the whole school lined the stairwells over here and cheered on the 1956 basketball team as they walked from the gym down the stairs to get on the bus to go play for the state championship. It was during these series of conversations that we decided Rosedale High School needed a Hall of Fame to celebrate the many accomplishments of its graduates. After working on this with Otto for a period, I soon realized that this was a bigger undertaking than I thought it would be, and I needed help. So Lou Mendez was the organizer of the all-class reunion, and I had met him that day. I've had the opportunity to get to know Lou during our conversations. He explained that there was a real void at Rosedale for the graduates because they just didn't have a place to call home. No homecomings, no anything like that to come back to. So we talked about maybe how we can fill that void a little bit. Then it hit me that we needed to create an alumni organization to allow them access to the school, create a partnership that benefits not only Rosedale High School alumni, but also gives back to current middle school students. The idea is that the alumni would help organize memorabilia, plan events, and sponsor the Hall of Fame. And I must say it's been a great partnership. This has been a group that I really have enjoyed working with. Another important person that I met along this journey as principal is former principal and alumni, Mr. Bill Todd. I love my conversations with Mr. Todd about his time here as principal and how much it's changed, yet stayed the same. Not only was he the last principal at Rosedale High School, he and his wife are RHS graduates. So I'm so proud of the original vision has now come to fruition. So let's get the program started. I'd like to introduce you to the Rosedale High School Alumni Board President, Lou Mendez.
Thank you everybody for coming today. And first of all, I just want to let you guys know that it's a great feeling to celebrate your accomplishments, honorees. Also, alumni that have taken the time to come out today to be here to help celebrate that. And we have some special guests here too. We have former teachers that I hope that as you hear the stories and as you hear us tell the stories of your former students, that you will see that you had a little bit of something to do with that. And I think you probably will be very proud. So we appreciate that. Now, before we actually get started, I do want to introduce to you the board of the Rosedale High School Alumni Association, and that would be Pam Kelly, who is our Vice President. Board member, and of course Adam Scholl, who is part of the vision and also part of that state championship basketball team. We also would like to see if Mr. Todd has anything that he wants to share with us. If not, that's fine. Do you have any words that you want to share with the group?
What a privilege. First of all, before I get serious, I want to tell you a little bit about the seats that you're sitting in. If you were sitting up in the balcony, those seats would have been made by the Kansas State prisoners. And I noticed that they're much different down here, so that history is gone. Thank you, Lou, for the introduction. I am Rosedale through and through. I was a student here, a proud graduate. And then I went on after they took the senior high out of here, which was a sad day, and became the principal of Harmon. So we still had an influence of RHS. What I would like to do is commend the members of the class of 1973 for establishing this organization. Also, I'm very proud that Travis is here. He could be a true Rosedalian, I can guarantee you. He fits right in. He has the same values. It's his idea to try to bring back the influences of former graduates so that the current enrollment has an idea of what they could do. And I think that's the work of a champion. And I think I accept this honor of being in the Hall of Fame. It is an individual honor, but it is a group celebration. To have a successful school, it all starts with the community. The Rosedale community was always very supportive of its schools, very supportive of me. Then the students, for the most part, had a positive attitude toward learning. We always had a good staff, whether it was the cafeteria staff or whether it was a custodian, whether it was the office staff, whether it was an administrator. But the real key happened in the classroom. And why Rosedale was so successful is because of the quality of teachers that we have had. Obviously, they wanted their students to learn math or science or social studies, whatever they taught. But they were more interested in their students than that. They were concerned about the type of adult that youngster was going to be. So they taught more than just the subject matter. And I was the lucky guy at the main office here that worked with them. So I take my hat off to all of the fellow teachers. I think we only have one here. Jim, aren't you the only one that's here?
Oh, that's all.
Yeah. Jim Jarrett, he was our football coach, did a super job. He was part of the quality of instruction that we had. As you can imagine, I could go on forever, but I was instructed to hold it down. So I just want to tell you how humble I am to have my name associated with some of the other names in the Hall of Fame. It is a privilege to have my name with them, and I want to thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Todd. So this project has really been a joy to work on, especially having the chance to reconnect with some of my former classmates. The Alumni Association was formed to keep the members of all classes of Rosedale High School connected with their own class. Our main goal is to connect the current middle school students to the alumni to inform them about the rich history of the school and to also mentor them. We are so proud of the rich history of Rosedale High School and proud of many of the accomplishments of the students that walk these halls. These students have unlimited potential that are here now, and the hope is when they see the many achievements of the alumni, it's going to provide them with encouragement and the vision to dream, and to dream big and set big goals. Before we begin with the honorees, I'd like to take just a few minutes to explain what the criteria is for being an inductee. You must have graduated from Rosedale High School. You must be nominated by alumni, faculty, or others, and be accomplished in your respective fields. You're one that gives back to the community. You helped or helps develop future leaders, and you're a positive role model. That could be either in sports, academics, or mentorships. Distinguished honors that are bestowed based on personal courage and or achievements that help drive our culture to be the best that we can be. So, in case you were wondering, that is kind of what we look for. Now, let's begin honoring the inaugural Hall of Fame class, and we're going to begin with the gentleman that's actually responsible for the creation of Rosedale High School, George E. Rose. The high school department was organized in 1884 under the guidance of Professor George E. Rose. He was the superintendent of Rosedale schools. Without Mr. Rose's vision and guidance, there would not have been a Rosedale High School. Originally, the high school classes were held in a couple of rooms at Whitmore Public School. Y'all remember where that was?
Yeah.
Yeah. With only a few students. In 1886, the first class of 7 pupils graduated and were qualified to enter any state school without having to take an entrance examination. The graduation was held at McGeorge's Hall in the Henning Avenue Methodist Church. This became the first graduating class of what would become Rosedale High. The high school had only 3 grade levels until the year 1903, when the curriculum was changed and the school was made a qualified high school. The courses of study included history, language, math, English, and 1 or 2 of the sciences. The faculty was composed of only 3 teachers. Albert Marty donated the city of Rosedale the high school site on Hill and Bluff Streets east of Southwest Boulevard. The original high school was built in 1906 at the cost of $25,000 on one of the loftiest hills in Rosedale. In 1927, the old building, which is where we are now, was built with the cost of $160,000. We are proud to induct as the first inductee into the Rosedale High School Hall of Fame, Mr. George E. Rose.
Yeah.
Our next honoree is Frank L. Hageman. He's from the class of 1912. Mr. Hageman was born in Bushnell, Illinois in 1894. His family moved to Kansas City, Missouri, then later to Rosedale, Kansas. After graduating from Rosedale, Mr. Hageman attended KU. He served in the 117th Kansas Ammunition Train. While on duty, he was severely wounded and later earned a Purple Heart and a special citation at Fort Riley. He then earned a law degree at Washington University in Washington, D.C. in 1921. He practiced law in Wyandotte County and later served as the county assessor. In 1938, he was elected as a Johnson County representative to the state legislature, and he was re-elected not once, but twice. He had many accomplishments in the legislature. He helped to improve rural living conditions in Kansas and was a key contributor in restoring the old Shawnee Mission. In 1939, he was elected as Kansas Lieutenant Governor. When Governor Frank Carlson replaced Senator Harry Darby in the U.S. Senate, Mr. Hageman became governor of the state of Kansas. After his governorship ended, he returned to his law practice in Fairway, Kansas, and began a personal interest in ornithology. He served as president of the Missouri Audubon Society with members in both Missouri and Kansas. He passed away on June 23, 1966. Welcome to the Rosedale High School Hall of Fame. Our next honoree is Charles Wheatley. He also is from the class of 1912. Charlie was an American professional baseball pitcher and businessman. He played for the Detroit Tigers of the American League in 1916. He also played for several AAA teams in the Kansas City area before retiring in 1932. During his baseball career, Wheatley began to pursue his business interest. Wheatley founded his own valve manufacturing company and earned at least 21 patents on his designs. He sold the company to Tesoro Petroleum for $10.5 million in 1972, roughly $68 million in current dollars. Wheatley joined with his brothers in founding the Wheatley Brothers Machine Company in 1916, and then moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and founded the Charles Wheatley Valve Company in 1954. Wheatley invented varieties of ball valves, check valves, gate valves, and earned patents on at least 21 of his designs. Wheatley received 3 honorary degrees in engineering from the University of Tulsa. He was a personal friend of President Harry S. Truman and advised the president during his decision to run again for the presidency. Welcome to the Rosedale High School Hall of Fame. Our next honoree is Richard Dick Harp. He is from the class of 1935. In 1956, Dick Harp was recruited by Fog Allen to play at KU, which started a 60-year relationship with the basketball program. He played basketball at KU lettering from 1938 to 1940, and was one of the starting guards on the 1940 team that lost to Indiana in the NCAA finals. Mr. Harp served as Fogg Allen's assistant from 1949 to 1956. He then served as the director of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes for 13 years after leaving the Jayhawks. From 1956 to 1964, he was the 4th Kansas Jayhawks men's basketball head coach. Coach Harp compiled a 121-82 record in those 8 seasons and led the Jayhawks to 2 conference titles, 1 Big 7, 1 Big 8, and 2 NCAA tournament berths. In his first season as head coach at KU, he took the Jayhawks, including the great Wilt Chamberlain, to the NCAA title game and lost to North Carolina in triple overtime, 54-53. Coach Harp served as an assistant coach from 1986 to 1989 at North Carolina with Coach Dean Smith. Coach Harp is one of only 5 people to have played and coached in an NCAA title game. Coach Harp lived in Lawrence, Kansas until his death in March of 2000. Let's welcome him into the Rosedale High School. Our next honoree is Cheryl Estes Giefer. She is one of my classmates from the class of 1973. Dr. Giefer is in her 7th year as director of the Irene Ransom Bradley School of Nursing at Pittsburgh State University. She was appointed to the rank of university professor in 2011, an honor that is awarded to only 5 faculty members each year. For the past 35 years, she has demonstrated a strong dedication to teaching upcoming nurses and nurse practitioners. She received her Master's of Science in Nursing from KU and her PhD education from the University of Arkansas. Dr. Giefer serves as a nursing grant writer with nearly $8.5 million secured in federal funding for nursing tuition, stipends, faculty salaries, and technology for Pittsburgh State University Nursing. She continues to make a positive footprint in the profession of nursing, a dream that she has carried with her since her days at RHS. Welcome to Our next honoree is Mr. Bill Todd. He is from the class of 1949. As you heard, he's a really proud graduate, Rosedale through and through. Mr. Todd began his teaching career at Hazel Grove Elementary School in Wyandotte County, teaching 8th grade. 1 year later, he moved to Argentine Junior Senior High. I'm sorry, Mr. Todd. I'm kidding. Where he taught junior high math and was a senior high social studies teacher. In addition to his teaching duties, he served as an assistant coach in football and basketball and was head track coach. After completing his master's degree, he transferred to Rosedale High School to serve as guidance counselor. Later, he was named assistant principal and then was named principal in 1973. The Kansas City, Kansas School District reorganized the upper level grades of the junior senior high school to middle schools and senior high schools. Middle schools included grades 7th, 8th, and 9th. Sophomores, juniors, and seniors were housed in the senior high school. as recognition for his success at Rosedale, engaging and encouraging students and navigating the student body through some extremely challenging times. Mr. Todd was appointed the first principal at J.C. Harmon. After 5 years, he transferred to Washington High School and retired after 12 years at Washington. While teaching, he served as a member of the Kansas City, Kansas Teachers Association. As a principal, he was elected president of the Kansas Association of Secondary School Principals. He was elected as Kansas Principal of the Year and served as a board of director of the National Association of Secondary School Principals. Mr. Todd and his wife, fellow 1949 alumni, Shirley Cumbie Schmidt, continue to be active in many Rosedale reunions, and they are regularly present during the tours of our alma mater. Mr. Todd, we are so proud to welcome you to the Rosedale High.
Can I find the Flurkey family here? Did they come today? Well, I'll tell you about Dr. Kent Flurkey, class of 1954. While at Rosedale, Dr. Flurkey served as valedictorian, senior class president, first chair violinist, school chaplain, and was all-state athlete in football, basketball, and track and field. He then attended the University of Kansas, where he graduated with honors with a bachelor's degree in sociology in 1958. He was a collegiate All-American track and field in both the long jump and triple jump events. A highlight of his athletic career included the honor of representing the U.S. track and field team in the triple jump event in the 1964 Olympics in Tokyo. Kent was honored years later with his induction in the University of Kansas, Drake Relays, and Missouri Valley Halls of Fame. He later obtained master's degrees in counseling and student services, as well as a master's in school administration and supervision from California State University in 1968. He capped off his academic achievements when he obtained a doctorate degree from the University of Arkansas in educational administration in 1988 with his dissertation involving the impact of stress on school principals. Imagine that. Yeah. His other noteworthy lifetime achievements include his serving in the U.S. Army with commendation and distinction. He was a member of Phi Beta Kappa and Phi Delta Kappa honorary societies. He was also listed in Who's Who in the South and Southwest and Men of Distinction. Dr. Flurkey passed away in May of 2022. That was just a few months ago. Our condolences to his family and a job well done. Welcome to the Thanks. We're proud to induct Dr. Flurkey into the Rosedale Hall of Fame. Several family members were supposed to be here to accept on his behalf, but I guess they couldn't make it at the last minute. Our next inductee is Dr. Clyde Golden, class of 1954. Growing up during the Great Depression after World War II, Rosedale High was a very welcome opportunity for Dr. Golden. He participated in track as a mile runner, served as track co-captain, Delphia, High Y, and 3 years on student council. After graduation, Dr. Golden attended Emporia State University, earning a bachelor's degree and master's degree. He earned his doctorate at Indiana University, studying the historical reconstruction of natural lakes by analysis of animal microfossils in sediments. I think I had to take a break to breathe in the middle of that. Dr. Golden then attended Yale for his postdoctoral. He applied for the exchange program between the U.S. and Russia. He learned the Russian language and his application was approved. Dr. Golden and his family lived in the former Soviet Union for 8 months. Dr. Golden has published over 100 reviewed papers in scientific publications, edited and published 2 books while working at the Academy of Natural Sciences, which is now associated with Drexel University. He taught classes at the University of Pennsylvania and Drexel University. He organized a scientific research project in Mongolia as a visiting scientist, working with Mongolian colleagues to train young Mongolians to study their environment and the changes resulting from climate warming. 18 young Mongolians were hired to study changes in the lake's watershed for 5 years, 2002 to 2006, and to prepare for graduate studies abroad in international universities. 12 of these individuals have received their PhD from US, Japan, Germany, Russian universities, and have returned to Mongolia to teach in universities and or to work with the national government's efforts to study the impacts of climate change. Dr. Gould received the Lifetime Achievement Award and the Friendship Medal from the President of Mongolia, the highest honor for a non-Mongolian citizen. Dr. Gould serves as a Curator Emeritus at the Academy of Natural Sciences at Drexel University. We are proud to induct Mr. Clyde Gould into the Rosedale High School Hall of Fame. Welcome to the Now we're going to honor the 1956 state basketball champions. And I'll say their names and their years of graduation. Otto Scholl, 1956, he was the captain. Don Swope, 1956. Bob Tay, 1956. Don Everyone, 1956. Richard Briscoe, 1956. Robert Brown, 1957. Bud Woolery, 1957. Frank Collins, 1957. Scott Hines, 1957. Carol Cathy, 1958. And head coach Bill Heitholt. With an 18-1 regular season record, their only loss was to Bishop Ward, 46-48, snapping a 12-game winning streak. Rosedale raced through the Eastern Kansas League with only one close game against the Turner Golden Bears, holding on for a 53-52 victory. The team averaged 60 points per game versus opponents 45 points per game. This championship team was tall, with 4 starters ranging from 6 feet to 6 feet 5 inches. Coach Heitholt taught the team Fog Allen's famed fighting bench. Per his instructions, there was never a quiet moment on the bench. As those who were playing were doing their part to aid in victory, those on the bench kept shouting their encouragement. Coach was a member of University of Kansas national champion basketball team and represented our country in the Olympics. In every game, at least 2 players scored in double figures with many others close by. Rosedale had the best defense in the EKL. Defense and offensive power were hard to beat. Coach Heitholt played 4 years at KU under Fog Allen. He took a team who only won 4 games the year before to the state title. That state title run included winning the district tournament in Osawatomie by beating Osawatomie 67-46, and then edging Olathe 59-51, winning the regionals at Garnett with victories over Iola 60-36 and Olathe 65-52, winning a berth in the state championship in Hutchinson. Our Wildcats beat Woodland 56-40, Russell 65-51, and then in the championship game dominated Haskell 53-35 to win the only state title in Rosedale High School history. We are so lucky to have a member of that team with us today. We would like to recognize Carol Cathy, from the class of 1958 and the only state championship in RHS basketball history. Patty McCall is here to accept the honor on behalf of her brother, Bud Woolery, member of the championship team. Welcome to the Rosedale High School Hall of Fame. Do we have Patty McCall here? Oh, there she is. Great. And is Carol Cathy with us in the auditorium? Okay, well, we will wish them well and a hearty welcome to the Hall of Fame. The next lady we're going to induct into the Hall of Fame is Shirley Christian. She's the class of 1956. Miss Christian was born in a farmhouse in Pettis County, Missouri, but grew up in Kansas City, Kansas. After graduating from Rosedale, she earned a bachelor's degree in language and literature from Pittsburgh State University in 1960. She went on to earn a master's degree in international journalism from Ohio State University in 1966. She was recognized as a Nieman Fellow at Harvard University during the 1973-74 academic year. Ms. Christian is renowned for her reporting on the Central American crisis during the 1970s and 1980s. In 1980, Ms. Christian joined the Latin American Bureau for the Miami Herald and began reporting on the Central American crisis, the political turmoil that was sweeping across Nicaragua, Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. She was known for reporting on the human aspect of this conflict. In 1981, she was awarded the 1981 Pulitzer Prize for international reporting for her dispatches from Central America. Living in Latin America for 20 years, she rose to become the New York Times bureau chief for Argentina. She also worked as a foreign correspondent for the New York Times, the Miami Herald, and the Associated Press. Ms. Chastain's, Ms. Christian's book on the Nicaraguan Revolution, according to the Wall Street Journal, quote, may stand as a definitive account of the fall of Anastasio Somoza and the rise of the Sandinistas. She also authored, that was an unquote there, she also authored the 2004 book, Before Lewis and Clark, the story of the Chotos, the French dynasty that ruled America's frontier, that tells the story of the American West before the famous expedition that begins many of the region's histories. Welcome to the Rosedale Hall of Fame. Now, I think we do have a representative of Harold Kent Strawn. I think his brother's here, but Mr. Strawn was the class of 1957. Reverend Strawn's life mirrored a thirst for knowledge. And wow, I have a thirst too. Faith and justice. His wife Carol shared Harold transformed everything he touched. Whatever assignment he took on, he first saw the possibilities and then noticed where people were stuck and helped them use their own resources to solve their predicament. As editor of a church newspaper, head of a publisher's writing department, church pastor, or hospice chaplain, Reverend Strawn embraced positive, respectful, and resourceful decision-making. After graduation, he earned a BA in journalism from Abilene Christian College in 1961. The college, later a university, honored Harold in 2005 with the Gutenberg Award for Distinguished Professional Achievement by an alumnus in journalism and mass communication. Reverend Strawn went on to earn his master's in Bible from Abilene Christian and a Master of Divinity from Harvard Divinity School in 1966. Reverend Strawn was very interested in the European roots of the Restoration movement. In 1969, he moved with his family to Germany. For 3 years, he studied the early Reformation Free Church movement, and prior to his passing, Harold donated his papers for archiving at the Center for Restoration Studies at Abilene Christian. In 1968, Harold lost his job as the managing editor of the Christian Chronicle for not retracting a story about the integration of the student body at Southwestern Christian College in Terrell, Texas. A few days later is when Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated. With his wife's blessing, Harold withdrew their last bit of money for a bus ticket to Atlanta and marched in Dr. King's funeral. Reverend Strawn continued his transformation work in a series of roles. He was a researcher and later a writer for radio and television broadcasts in Abilene, headed the writing department of Word Incorporated, a Christian record and book company. Reverend Strawn preached at West Slip Church on Long Island from 1985 to 1992, served as minister for First Christian Church of Luther, Oklahoma, and helped the church fulfill a dream of building a new fellowship hall. Retirement came in 2009 and he settled in Salt Lake City, but assisted in ministry at the Utah State Prison and later served as a hospice chaplain from 2012 to 2017. He published several books, including Anecdotes That Transform, Little Stories That Changed My Life Without Knowing It, stories about his time at Rosedale High, with a focus on the experience and with teachers who molded his life. Welcome to the Rosedale High School Hall of Fame, and Mr. Strawn, the brother, and I think there might be, a sister is going to come up.
The last time I went up those stairs, I graduated from high school.
You're with him too.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Our next inductee is Command Master Chief Jackie K. Hinshaw, class of 1958. After graduation, Mr. Hinshaw had a distinguished career in the Navy. He served in the Navy for 32 years, reaching the highest rate an enlisted man can achieve, that of Commander Master Chief. He received many honors during his service: National Defense Medal, the Vietnam Service Medal with a star. I learned today that those stars were a repeat of that award he had won. I had to ask my father-in-law. The Vietnam Campaign Medal, the Navy Achievement Medal, and he had 2 gold stars with that one, so he was awarded it 3 times. Sea Service Deployment Ribbon with 1 bronze star to that medal. Welcome to the Rosedale High School Hall of Fame. Next is Mr. David Peterson, class of 1967. As a RHS senior, he was voted most athletic male. He played and lettered in football, basketball, track, and cross country. This was the springboard to his career in track and field at K-State. He was voted track and field team captain in 1971. He also earned All-American honors in 1969, 70, and 1971. Mr. Peterson competed in 4 drake relays as a KSU athlete. His 1970 win was a collegiate and American record that still stands as a drake relay record for the 2-mile relay. Mr. Peterson earned his degree in art education, art history at K-State, and he also earned his Bachelor's of Science degree in journalism at KU. He was a photographer and a journalist, winning the Pulitzer Prize for feature photography in 1987. Additionally, he shared the Pulitzer Prize in 1991 for community service with 2 other staff members of the Des Moines Register. In 1975, he became the staff photographer at the Topeka Capital Journal. After 2 years, he switched to the Des Moines Register. He published 38 Drake Relay for the Topeka Capital Journal, Des Moines Register, Drake University, and the Track and Field News magazine. Mr. Peterson produced a book for Drake University's 125-year anniversary. Welcome to Rosedale High School Hall of Fame.
And I believe it's his birthday.
I want to introduce my friend and classmate of 1973, April. Hey, Gus. She taught me to say it correctly. It's like, hey, Gus. No, hey, thank you, April. Oops, sorry, I left something here. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I am lucky to have the honorees in my section today. I actually know all four of these people, and I'm just so proud. I want to give a shout out to you before I begin. From the class of 68, the next inductee is Richard Ruiz, who founded El Centro in 1976. This organization provides support for Latino families. Realizing that the culture of the Kansas City area had become more diverse, he transformed El Centro by creating a new mission, purpose, and identity, allowing the focus to begin serving the total community. This new vision was recognized with the Ewing Kauffman Foundation's REACH Award for Organizational Excellence in 1983. Mr. Ruiz won his election to the City Council in Kansas City, Kansas, and was selected in '87 as its deputy mayor. In recognition of his contributions to the community, Mr. Ruiz has been honored with multiple awards, including the Fannie Mae Fellowship for Government Leadership Award at Harvard and the Social Innovation Fellow for Leadership for Nonprofit Management at Stanford University, to name a few. He served on the Governor's Consolidation Study Commission and helped stage the merger of Wyandotte County and the Kansas City, Kansas governments in 1997. He is a member of the Kansas State Education Policy Task Force and served 3 years on the Unified Government's Board of Parks Commission. We welcome Mr. Ruiz to the Rosedale Hall of Fame. This next young lady could not be with us here today, but she came from the class of 69. If you recall, history showed that in the 60s and 70s, there were some tumultuous times in American history. Yet Deborah was determined that she wasn't going to let inequality get in the way of achieving her goals. One of these goals was to make the cheerleading squad here at Rosedale High School. However, she was a minority, and selection at that time seemed to be based on popularity. Deborah sprang into action, and with the help of a trusted advisor, she and a group of friends and students formed a coalition of students from different backgrounds with the goal of changing those bylaws. The group met every morning with the captains of the football, basketball, and track teams, along with teachers they believed would be fair in helping during the tryouts. They also selected 6 outside influencers to help judge. Therefore, she became the very first African-American varsity cheerleader at a Kansas City, Kansas school, not just Rosedale, but throughout the district, and cheered on Rosedale varsity squad during the 68-69 school year. The year and experience were exciting and gratifying for her, and although it hadn't been easy, the squad and school community were supportive. Ms. Allen continues to advocate for young people to stand up for those who are voiceless and have been deprived of a chance to obtain their goals. Let's welcome her to the Rosedale. Our next honoree is Teresa Hicks Van Gotham from the class of 70. She was also previously given the 2002 Reasons to Believe Alumni Honor. Teresa's parents gave her reasons to believe in herself. Her mom believed in the power of reading, and so like clockwork would reserve time every day for reading. Her dad demonstrated a strong work ethic and stressed the power of establishing positive relationships with others. She learned from her parents' example, developed her own passion for reading and working with others, and decided to funnel that energy into teaching. After teaching special education at both Fairfax and Banneker elementary schools, Teresa became the coordinator for elementary special education programs in the KCK school district. She is an educator in the district and has been for nearly 30 years. In her spare time, Teresa has served on a variety of district school committees, such as teaching and learning, interest-based bargaining, summer conference planning, and beginning teachers' staff development. She is also a past president of the KCK Administrators and Supervisors Association, as well as the Council for Exceptional Children. Since 1975, she has volunteered with the Special Olympics and Foster Grandparents Program, a nonprofit organization that brings lower-income older adults and special or exceptional needs children and adolescents together in a variety of settings. After graduating from Rosedale High School in 1970, Teresa entered KCK Community College and later transferred to Kansas State University. At KSU, Teresa earned her bachelor's degree in elementary education with an emphasis in special education in 1974 and a double master's degree in special needs and behavioral disorders in 1980. Let's welcome Teresa Van Gotham.
She was also president of the Tough Club.
The next honoree is Mr. Jeff Stafford, PhD. He was with the class of 72. After graduation from Rosedale, Dr. Stafford attended K-State. While a student there, he served in student affairs and continuing education. He is currently Professor Emeritus of Organizational Communication and Leadership Studies at Eastern Washington University. Dr. Stafford's academic credentials include a doctorate in Organizational Communications and Leadership Studies, master's degree in group counseling and student personnel, and a bachelor's degree in architecture. He is very involved within his community and serves on the local Little League Board of Directors, treasurer for the Northwest Community Association, Eastern Washington University Young Professionals Network Board, and a variety of other leadership, advisory, and mentoring positions. Dr. Stafford was awarded the Dean's Faculty Service Award several times and the Faculty Achievement Award for service and teaching. He is not only a teacher, but a mentor to his students. Some who will say, "You just gotta love this guy. He knows his stuff and teaches in a way that's exciting and interesting." Yet another shared he is a superior instructor with the knowledge and experience and ability to assist participants in gaining essential knowledge needed to be strong and dynamic leaders. We welcome Dr. Stafford to the Rosedale Hall of Fame.
And I just have to say, I walked to kindergarten with this guy. And I think
This last inductee has a special note from me. I've known her since the 4th grade. While she went down the hill to Holy Name School for a little while, she got straight again and came back to Rosedale. She comes from the class of 73. After graduation from Rosedale High School, Pam has advanced through the ranks of the largest record distributor, beginning work as both the youngest and one of only 2 women salespeople in the entire country. She was promoted to sales management. Eventually, she became a senior executive with some Fortune 500 companies, including Atari, HBO Video, and finally New Line Home Entertainment, where she was responsible for a sales division that grossed over $1 billion in her last 3 years at the company. After her company merged with a larger company, she knew what her next chapter would be, as she has always had a lifelong love of community service. She noticed that there was a lack of females holding political office, and she and a colleague, Dr. Lee Bird, were determined to find out why. What they discovered is that middle school girls actually begin to lose their confidence as early as age 10. She and Dr. Bird worked with educators to determine how they could mitigate this in young girls. Out of this research was born the Madam President Camp. The Madam President Camp offers girls the opportunity to learn about their gifts and talents and to explore how to use their abilities to become authentic, powerful leaders in their communities and ultimately the world. Madam President Camp was recognized as one of the top nonprofits by the local Henry Block School Entrepreneurial Scholarship Program in 2018. The camp is in its 8th year with close to 200 graduates. Partners include UMKC, KU, KCK Community College, Kansas City, Missouri School District, the Olathe School District, St. Teresa's, and Notre Dame DCO. We welcome Pam Kelly to the Rosedale Hall of Fame. This is my sister from another mister.
Yeah. 60 years.
The last inductee on my turn is Michelle Hayes Robinson, also from the class of 73. Miss Robinson is recognized for diversity work at Kansas City Power and Light, Sprint, and Embark. At Kansas City Power and Light and Sprint, she was instrumental in implementing supplier diversity programs so these companies would interface and work with minority business owners. She created KCPL's program that won several local as well as national awards. At Sprint, Miss Robinson's first project was ensuring office space at the Sprint campus, was occupied by minority and women-owned businesses. This initiative that Mrs. Robinson created and implemented at Sprint campus earned close to $100 million for them with diverse and women-owned businesses, both locally and nationally. At Embark, Ms. Robinson was the program manager for their supplier diversity program, responsible for its implementation. She worked with Embark to implement programs in workforce diversity, which included helping workforce retention and employee relations. She's not with us here today, but let's welcome Michelle to the
A lot of really great accomplishments, a lot of really good stories. We hope that we did it justice. I think you can see a lot of good came out of these halls. So one more last round of applause for our winners today. So, as you can see, we have many alumni who have amazing achievements. We know the students attending Rosedale Middle School know that they do have a chance to have a bright future. We hope they can look at the Hall of Fame inductees as they walk down the halls day to day and know that there are opportunities for them to also succeed. So, for those of you who are interested in becoming a member of the Rosedale High School Alumni Association, we do have a table set up outside. Some of you have come by. Thank you. You've signed up. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook for any future information or updates about what we're doing. I think what we want to do now is, first of all, thank you, Mr. Helm, for bringing us together, for helping us get this off the ground. It means a whole lot to a lot of people, and although we don't really see the auditorium full, I think our hearts are. So, what we thought we would do last is kind of reminisce a little bit in the ceremony with our school song. If we remember.
See how many of you remember this?
Program too.
It's in the program.
Ready?
Okay, stand up. Okay. Ready? Echoes from the craggy hillside, yonder in the mist, tell us of the moon and desert, ever keeping tryst. Lift the chorus ever onward, ne'er regarded less. Hail to thee, our dear old high school. Hail to RHS. Hit it!
Rosedale RHS! Rosedale RHS!
So one last thing, guys. If you have not had a chance to see the upgrades to the school, you're welcome to walk to the other side, especially where there's not a stadium anymore, but there's a really nice cafeteria, and they've done some upgrades to the little lobby area to go, into the field house. But feel welcome to kind of walk around, look at the Hall of Fame. There's some very light refreshments, and thank you so much for attending. Congratulations.
Okay.
Dad, you got a notification.
Yeah. Can we get all the honorees who are